So the XX debuted into international charts with their 2009 self-titled album XX. It was one of the beginnings in this indie genre of having minimalist R&B with electronic influenced tracks. I just didn't like this album, Sam. I don't have a lot to say about them. I think that they take very small steps in each album, and the steps are too small to warrant a new album. Do you know what I mean? Every single one maybe progresses in their musical intricacy on 2 tracks. And then the rest of the album is sort of just more of the same thing. It's more of this minimalist vocals over sometimes heavy beats or sometimes just sort of barely there electronic sounds. And to me, that's just not interesting enough to do over and over again. It's interesting that in one of their best songs, Islands, the video for it shows this repetitive motion that's very 60s influenced. And I honestly think it represents purgatory. And I feel that their sound is a little bit in purgatory, where they just do the same songs over and over again. And while their new album featured some departures and maybe some more confident sounds, I still don't think it was good enough to get the chart attention that they do. Maybe it's just indie easy listening and that's why everyone likes it. But other than that, I don't think that they're super, super special.
The songs that depart from their comfort zone, they're really early on. And I don't know, they stand out so much on the album as just kind of not existing to that same XX sound. There's nothing wrong with them per se, but I didn't think they were particularly special. Oddly enough, I think I found that as the album went along, I got more into the kind of zone. With ICU, I think that their early songs are by far sort of the more inventive, but I don't think that they're particularly interesting. I don't think they've taken a sound and done anything particularly exciting with that. And then as the album goes on, they kind of fall back into this more familiar guitar pop, dreamy pop song, which is very much their comfort zone. And it's probably very telling that that's the stuff that they do the best on the album. But yeah, is it a great step forward? Probably not.
Yeah, and none of the songs make large steps forward. And as you were saying, in terms of inventiveness, the early songs, I believe Dangerous is the opening track. The only thing that's particularly departing from their sound is that it sort of borrows a bit of a club beat. So it almost sounds like they're writing songs to be remixed.
The thing is that in terms of a club song, it's not a particularly good club song.
No.
It's not really working to their strengths, and I don't think that it's interesting enough to survive a new direction. And I think it's kind of telling that they really drop that whole nuance across the album. I think there were highlights here. I enjoyed A Violent Noise because of the restraint and performance too. I think that there are a couple of key bits there where they could have made something really tacky and instead turn them into something that was quite polished and quite interesting.
I agree. I think that Performance was my favorite track off of the album as well, and I think that's because they embraced that minimalism that has made them so well liked and really used her voice well on that track. I thought that her emotional affectation was evident and, as you said, restrained and not tacky, which is a thing to accomplish, honestly, but it's just that I hear it so often from them.
I think it gets better as you go along. The second half of the album is stronger than the first half, but I think that's because it hits this consistency that allows them to settle into a groove, and at that point it just becomes one experience that you're listening to for the duration, which isn't a bad experience, and as I said, it's playing to their strengths. But it isn't exactly captivating.
No, I don't think it would hurt them to have a little bit of fun and maybe take some risks. And unfortunately, I don't think a club beat is a big enough risk.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that they were shooting for... I think that's what they were shooting for in Dangerous and Say Something Loving, and it just wasn't really... I mean, it was different, but it just wasn't effective.
Yeah, I mean, it was different from the rest of their stuff, but it wasn't different in the grand scheme of dreamy vocals over a pop synth beat. I mean, nowadays you have musicians like Grimes, who I think really pushed the envelope with each of her albums. I'm starting to believe that she can do anything. With this genre having gained such momentum in top 40 charts and just in popular listening, I think it's really important to not just sort of rest on your laurels as the darling of a genre, which the XX definitely are, but to continue pushing forward.